Nowadays, it's a big deal. And for us event planners, we don't mind. And I think now with social media, it's getting bigger and bigger. And I'm just wondering what's next. Hey everyone, my name is Donita Divine and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I am a mom, a wife, and what some will call a serial entrepreneur. I have a travel business, I have a renovation and life coaching business, and I have an event planning business that I've had for over 20 years now. I am here to inspire, educate, entertain, and empower all the people that watch. So don't forget to click that like and subscribe button. Grab your drinks, whether it's water or whatever, and let's talk about it. Today's podcast is about prom and the prom send-offs. They have become the newest phenomenon, taking over what I thought was just a Chicago thing. But now, due to social media, it has spread it all across the U.S. Since we are in prom and graduation season, it's only fitting that we discuss prom send-offs. And the fact that I just completed one this past weekend, I just want to talk about it. Because like back in my day, it was simple. You know, you get your date, you get your dress made. Well, we got our dress made, or you get it store-bought, whatever the finances or the creativity you could think of for your dress. That's what you had. You got your hair done, your makeup done, and you get a few family and friends that was not going to prom. They would come over and visit you and watch you. You would take a few pictures and you would leave and go to the prom. Nowadays, it's a big deal. And for us event planners, we don't mind. And I think now with social media, it's getting bigger and bigger. And I'm just wondering what's next. You know, at first we had the prom send-offs. I've started my prom send-offs probably in 2017 is when I did my first prom send-off. And I was just I was learning. I was buying stuff as you go. People was like, hey, can you come put a backdrop up? Hey, can you get some balloons? So that was like what I did. You know, I had the balloons and the backdrop, step and repeat, and that was pretty much the gist of it. The items grew, the wants grew, and back then when I went to prom, you drove one of your family members' fancy cars, or you rented a car possibly, but pretty much that was the gist of it. And then because we had gotten out of the limo, I want to say. We used to ride limos. I remember people like buddying up, riding limos, which is still cool. But then the young man was like, I want to drive myself. So I rode actually in a car with my prom date, his brother and his date. But that was what happened back then. I don't remember us taking too many pictures in front of the car. Maybe we did. Can't even remember what the car was back then. But now these kids are getting top tier Rolls Royce, Mercedes-Benz trucks and Maybachs and Porsche, all types of cars. I'm not mad at it, but I'm just letting you know that's the trend. And now with social media, I don't think it's going away anytime soon. What was your prom like? If you went to prom back in the early 2000s, the 80s, or the 90s, leave me a comment below and let me know what was your prom like. Did you have a big to-do? Did you have a rented car? Probably the boys, the guys did. For event planners, planning the prom send-off, it used to be, like I said, quick and easy. Now this is where your creativity comes into play. You know, what can I do that's different? What can I do that's extra? What can I do that is going to show off and pay off in a major way without breaking the budget, the client's budget, right? During that planning phase, you do have to ask your client, what's your budget? And your client needs to know what their budget is. Because what I've found is that they have a budget, and that budget does not include paying the event planner. That's the real tea. I think they understand that we do all the work, we put it all together, we make it happen, but there is a fee involved. And if somebody say, hey, my budget is $1,000, $500. So then you're wondering, if you know that my budget, my fee for a prom is $500 or $1,000, then where does that leave your decorations? I used to do packages when I first started doing proms, and basically it left me with little overhead or little revenue. I really just wanted to get my name out there. I had packages where I had my chairs, I have throne chairs, and I would deliver them. I would have somebody do the balloons because I'm not a balloon girl. I'm learning though. But I would have somebody do the balloons for me. And then once the cleanup and everything was done, I wasn't really making any money. And I had to then reevaluate how I did the proms. Because sometimes I even had to rent a U-Haul to get the chairs over to the client. And the U-Haul is probably like $100. Even though it say 40 something on the side of the truck, it was like $100. I had to then factor that in and when I was doing my price list. It's a lot of little things. That's one of the first things that I talk about when I talk to a client. What's your budget? And I know people hate when people ask what's their budget, but this is the perfect time to find out what a budget is, because now you can fill out and educate the customer saying, hey, this might be more of a party city prom send-off than a custom event planning, a planner send-off, right? Because if you're telling me that you want all of these things, then this is my fee. And the fee will go up depending on your ask and the location. So if you're needing a lot of things, then of course the price is different. What they say, today's price and yesterday's price. It's very true. The proms and send-offs that I did before the pandemic is way different now. Today they're doing promposals. So that to me sets the standard of how large this prom send-off is going to be. If you know that a girl or a young man went above and beyond, did a promposal where they have the big signs and giving out roses. I've seen some promposals where they are having a saxophonist and the people are singing in the background. The promposal has gone viral. If you know that your child has executed something like that or received something like that, then 9 times out of 10, you want to match that energy with the send-off. Or maybe not, but that's kind of the pattern that I've seen. You know, it's the beginning. It's May of 2024. I'm just here for the creativity of it all. I'm excited to see Florida doing prom send-offs and California. I love to see the different cultures, the different neighborhoods, the different states do their prom send-offs, because you get to see it from all different lenses. You get to see the South and you get to see that country swag. I love it. So I love to see, you go to Malibu, you know, wherever the proms are, you get to see the different styles and the different, to see what they come up with. And I love to see those simple prom send-offs when you just in front of a bush with a flower or whatever, just being your true authentic self. Those are just as fine. You don't have to go above and beyond. For event planners, we love that, but to keep it real, you don't have to go above and beyond to get dressed and have your friends and family over to see you go to prom. Do what works for your budget. Do what works for you, because now you wonder, is it for the child or is it for the parents? Who is the prom? Is it a competition to see who can do, like, is my prom gonna go viral? I don't know. But like I said, as a business person, I'm here for it. I don't mind it. But as a mom and somebody that watches my finances and have a 15-year-old, I'm just like, oh my goodness. She's gonna be on an airplane in a helicopter when she goes to prom. I'm just wondering what is next. But to me, it's whatever your heart desires. Like I tell everybody, don't let the person before you make the decision on what you want for your household. If you want to go above and beyond, if you want to shut the internet down, then do it. If you want to have a simple, elegant, soft backdrop with curtains and floral or whatever, then do it. If you want to step and repeat, you want red carpet, if you want things coming out the ceiling, then do it. Whatever your heart desires, then do that. I'm just saying, when I went to prom, when my son went to prom in 2013. So like when my son went to prom in 2013, that was probably the first prom send-off that I did. And we had a lot of people there. And because I'm an event planner, it was just the way that I do house events. I had food. I made it a thing. But I wanted him to feel special. I wanted him to feel like the man of the hour, because he was. I don't even think, well, maybe they were. I don't know if it was a thing. It wasn't a big thing like it is now. It was just mostly that a lot of family come over and take photos with the person in their suit, their tuxedo or whatever, the girls in their gown. We watched them drive off. For my son, we had family at our house. I drove him, or did I drive him? Or did I follow the limo? He had a limo, and it was a bunch of his friends together. And we went to go pick the girl up, and and she had all of her family at the house. I don't remember it being balloons. I believe he took her some flowers, and that was it. It wasn't, did he do a promposal? I don't even know if that was a thing back then. And then the girl came over to our house and took photos with the other kids that were going to prom together and the limo. And then they drove off. That was it. But that was like my first real prom send-off that I really didn't have decorations for. But I did go all out for the trunk party. So I guess we'll talk about that soon. But my next time we talk about graduation, prom, weddings, I'm going to have some industry experts to let you know what they deal with, give you some key points and takeaways. For me, how was your prom send-off? What do you remember about your prom send-off? What's your prom send-off? Or if you have a child going to prom this year or next year or had one last year, what was your experience? Did you go all out, or was it simple? I've done them all, and I've loved them all. There was not a prom send-off that I did not love. My takeaway and my personal feelings of the event, of course, it was a great event. I did that. However, I didn't execute everything that I wanted to execute. To the blind eye, maybe you didn't notice. I mean, because nobody really knew everything that I was going to do. The main things that I said I was going to do, yes, I executed those. But of course, I always have several tricks up my sleeve. The wind did not allow me to put up a lot of stuff that I had ready to go. I don't know. I think future, I would say put everything in a tent. But yeah, I mean, it's iffy. You know, what do you put a tent on the driveway? Yeah, those are the things that my takeaways that I really have to consider. The wind and the weather does not always cooperate with your event. So you have to always think about your plan B's, C's, and D's. Got tons of positive feedback. So many people asked for my number, my information, wanted to book me for next year. Did I tell you that I had already retired from doing events right at the pandemic? So I take events here and there. And so I wasn't really doing events. And because I really was getting burned out taking stuff from one location to the other. And I really wanted to have my own location, so I can just set up at any time indoors and whenever I wanted to. So I really had to like take a step back, and then I started really working my travel business, my renovation business, and my lifestyle coaching business. I took a backseat to the event planning because I was really trying to figure out if what was that going to do for me? I love it, but then the pandemic hit. Nobody was having an event except like the pandemic drive-bys. It was like the perfect time to say, I'm gonna take a hiatus from this. Seeing that it was so well received, it made me really think again, like, okay, like people's like, this is what you do, this is your calling, don't stop doing it, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should go back. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I said, I love having creative control. I do like somebody to give me some direction, so I'm not planning an event from my taste. I would like to know what you think is great. So I usually tell somebody when they do reach out to me, give me your top loved events that you've seen. And that gives me their taste. That gives me a lane of what they like. So I'm not designing based on what I like. Seeing that it was well reviewed, and people was trying to book me that night for next year, I was very happy about it, and made me really decide to kind of slowly get back into event planning. But like I said, there were some things that I felt like I didn't execute, and it left me with a really bad taste in my mouth, because one thing that I do is I like to make sure that I go above and beyond. I did add things in that was not on the list, but the things that I visibly could see, I was like, oh, I didn't do that. Oh, I should have, those are the things that I get bummed out about. And then it makes me kind of retreat. But people who didn't know that I was going to do anything wouldn't even know. They didn't know that I had stuff printed out. They just didn't know. As an event planner, we are our own worst critic, but that's when you know that your event planner cares, because they are looking for ways to make it better, to make you happy. I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm far from it, but I do have a creative eye. I think outside the box. If I had a crew, baby, it would be something different. I'd be something fierce and a force to be reckoned with. But I only have me and my husband. And sometimes I hate asking him to help me, because it's not his love, it's not his passion. He helps me because he loves me. So I want to most of the time do it on my own. So because we have a love for the game, a love for the business, love for the client, and we just want to make sure that we execute and give and go above and beyond for our clients. Whew. I can go on and on and on about proms. But thanks so much for joining me tonight. And if you are interested in finding out more about proms and weddings, or any events that you may have, you can contact me on all social media platforms, Donita Divine, or you can hit me up on Divine Expectations website. And I have that on IG and Facebook. Until next week, good night.